Good evening, everyone. I want to welcome you to the congregation of Habit Shalom, who graciously lets LCA use their building on a fairly regular basis, and it's very, very difficult to put into words how much we appreciate that, because otherwise we would not be able to bring you these events. I want to welcome our debate candidates. We have Wayne Losey with Ward 1, Deborah Plunkett, Ward 1. The candidates are seated in ward order and then alphabetically within the ward. So then we have Jesse Taylor, Ward 2, Miltra Hunt, Ward 2. Darren Sear could not come tonight. He had to go out of town with his sons, and so he could not make it. Then he's Ward 3, and Ron Mendez is his opponent in Ward 3. Ward 4, we have Rich Colucci and his opponent, Ariana Murrell Rosario. And then we have Ward 5, and the incumbent is not running. So we have 3 new contenders. First is Seth Albon and Diana Chakutis and Jake Kia. We welcome them, and we also welcome a couple of other officials and candidates who are in the room, and that would include Pete Capano, who is uncontested. And you can all see one. And also Rick Ford is not contested, and he could not come tonight because he also had to go out of town taking a child away to college. And Charlie Gallo with the school committee is here. And did I miss anyone who might not be on this sheet that I have? Okay, great. We have a few people here from the press. Well, we have Seth with Lynn Happens. He's pulling double duty. I think he has some help tonight. His wife looks like she might be helping out. Cassie Vitale with Lynn Camp. And Franklin Durkees, I believe it is, with El Mundo. Did I pronounce that correctly? Donka. Okay. Well, thank you for being here. We want to thank all of our citizens for coming out tonight, because I know, even though you're not running for office and you're not putting in quite as much time as these guys possibly, you're still taking time from a very, very busy schedule to come out and listen to see what they have to say so that you can make an informed decision when you go to the voting booth. The Lynn Community Association Board, we have a few members here tonight. We have Bob Connolly in the blue shirt right over there in front of our banner. And we have former board member and sometimes moderator, very often in fact, Tom Sheehan. Where's Tom? And then we have another board member, 2 in the back there, Douglas and Duncan Maitland. And myself, I happen to be Mary Trahan. I'm president of LCA. And Tyrone Hawkins, also, and probably much better known as the Lyrical Genie, is going to be our moderator. This is Tyrone Hawkins, and as I said, he's going to be moderating tonight, and so we're very pleased to have everyone here. The mission of the Lynn Community Association is to promote pride and ownership in the Lynn community through beautification, education, recreation, and possibly most importantly, neighborly relationships. It is hard to overestimate the value of neighborly relationships in a community. Lee Community Association does not endorse any candidate for any election at any time. Our purpose in presenting these forums is to provide Lynn voters with an opportunity to compare and contrast all of the candidates before making your choice for your city government and schools. And without further ado, I'm going to pass this over to our moderator, Ty Hawkins.
Hello, and thank you for coming out. My name is Tyrone Hawkins, also known as Walnut, the Lyrical Genie, recording and performance artist. I'm happy to be asked to come out and moderate this event. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the debate rules. Each candidate will be allowed 2 minutes introduction. Candidates will present in left to right seated order. A yellow flag will be displayed by the timekeeper 15 seconds before time is up. A red flag will be displayed when time is finished. Moderator will ask questions which have been submitted anonymously by voters in the community. Questions will be answered from right to left as seated. Questions will then pass to each person's left until all candidates have had an opportunity to respond. Each candidate will have up to 90 seconds to answer each question. If any candidate makes a remark which is directed toward another specific candidate, the candidate will be allowed 45 seconds to respond or review. Following approximately 75 minutes of questions and answers, each candidate from right to left seated order will be allowed 1.5 minutes to make closing statements. Candidates who do not respect timekeeping rules may be disqualified from participating in the remainder of the debate. So yellow flag timekeeping will be applied throughout the debate. Due to time constraints, we will ask the audience to please hold your applause to the end of the debate. And please silence or turn off your cell phones. Okay. Are we ready? Okay. All right, so we're going to start off with the questions. Introduction. Okay. Now, I'm sorry, yes. All right, so now the candidates will be allowed 2 minutes introduction. So we started from the left to the right, or your left. So that should be over here. Okay, first candidate, please. The mic's right here.
Good evening, everyone.
That's his left.
We're going to wait first.
That's okay.
If he wants to go ahead, Jake. Go ahead, Jake.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Lynn Community Association, for not only hosting tonight's forum, but also for giving everyone that opportunity, running for opportunity to share our vision for the city of Lynn. Thank you to the audience. My name is Jake Keogh. I'm a Cambodian American running for City Councilor of Ward 5. I am a father, a husband, a homeowner, a taxpayer, and most importantly, very engaged citizen of our city. I earned a bachelor's degree of science in business administration from Salem State University in 2003, and currently working as a retail manager for more than 10 years. I have a strong business background, and I'm very passionate about public services, and also concerned about the issues that are impacting our lives on a daily basis in the city of Lynn. And I'm running for Ward 5 because I firmly believe I'm ready and prepared to bring proactive ideas for positive change in our city. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Diana Chakoudas. I'm also running for Ward 5, and I'd like to say thank you for having us here tonight. I'm a lifelong Westland resident. I graduated from Lynn Tech. I've been married for 27 years to my husband, Nick. We have 2 children and a grandchild. My 2 children have went through the Lynn school systems. I've been involved in various organizations in the city, PTO, Little League, Civic Association. I'm currently employed at Old Time Italian Cuisine in Lynn, the manager down there. I just feel I'm going to be a full-time counselor. I'll be around. I have a genuine love for the city and the ward. That's why I decided to run. And just want to make Ward 5 a better place for everybody, for the children and their children to live. Thank you.
First, I'd like to thank the Lynn Community Association for all of their candidate forums over the years and for helping me become more informed. Their annual Clean Sweep to the Sea, resource fairs, blood drives, heart cleanups, and other citywide community building efforts. And thanks everyone for coming out tonight and taking an interest in Lynn's future. Some of you may know me already through lynnhappens.com, the Downtown Lynn Neighborhood Association, and other projects and organizations I've been involved with over the last several years, both downtown and citywide. I'd like to take this opportunity to give a brief background and some of the reasons why I'm running. I'm recently married, and my wife Jennifer and I make our home in Central Square, right here in downtown Lynn, and we're both strongly committed to the neighborhood and the city as a whole. I teach media literacy, specifically video production, broadcast journalism at Chelsea High School, and I've held both media and non-media, public sector and private sector jobs over the years. I've dedicated my professional career, as a matter of fact, to providing training and opportunities for people to be able to express themselves and engage with their communities. Now, I want to provide a better way to engage with city government, improve public safety, schools, parks, roads, and do a better job of welcoming new businesses, along with the jobs and tax revenues they bring to the city. I'm running for all of Ward 5 and for a better Lynn, from Seaport Landing to Pine Hill at the edge of Lynn Woods. I love the variety of living we have in Ward 5, retirement living, single-family homes, multifamily, apartments, condos, lofts, all kinds of businesses and cultures from everywhere. I will make myself accessible through telephone, email, social networks, traditional mail, or even by text message to listen to any and all concerns and ideas, and reach out to make things happen. I already have a record of doing so. Some of you may have noticed the new dome-lit barrels on Market Street. I got to work with Brendan Crichton and Community Development to help make that happen.
Please hold your applause to end the debate, please.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to thank everyone for coming out this evening, and also the LCA and the moderators, Mary and Tyrone, for hosting this debate. My name is Ariana Morel Rosario, and I'm running as a candidate for Lynn City Council, Ward 4. And I'd like to share a little history about myself. I am a first-generation Latin American who came to Lynn as a young single mother after graduating business school in 1986. As a passionate and driven young woman, I overcame much hardship and adversity as I struggled to build a life and future for myself and my children. I am currently married, and I have 2 children. Through hard work, dedication, and commitment, I built a successful national franchise tax preparation company in the city. I bought my first home in the Diamond District 7 years ago, which I fixed up and invested quite a bit of money in to make it a beautiful home for my family and my tenants. I decided to run for Lynn City Council at the urging of fellow business owners and homeowners who felt my tenacity of spirit, principles, and integrity would bring a level of energy and dynamics to the council that would create a force of change as to how our city's affairs are managed and governed. I believe that my skill sets in taxation, management, finance, and advocacy will allow me to bring vision and leadership to the council and help bring about greater transparency and accountability within our city government, with the goal of bringing greater hope and prosperity to our residences and businesses alike. So again, I wanted to thank everyone for coming out, and I look forward to the debate. Thank you.
Thank you for having us. I'm Rich Calucci. I'm the Ward 4 Councilor, and I want you to know that I'm seeking re-election because I love my job. I love helping people. When I get phone calls, if they leave messages, sometimes at night, I'm tired at night, and the message kind of like, and I say to myself, wait a minute, if they're calling me, it's important to them. So I call them back, and I direct their problems. I give them my cell phone numbers, and I'm constant contact with my constituents. I love my constituents. I live for them, and I want them to have a better life. The monitoring about neighborhoods, I'm all for the neighborhoods in the city of Lynn. I'm doing what I can. I got a record that downtown Union Street, there used to be all drug houses, now it's single-family homes. I took what the ordinance put, which he lives, right in the condos up above. That was my idea, bike patrols. So I'm doing what I can for the city of Lynn. I want your support. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for coming out tonight. My name is Ron Mendez, and I am running for the Ward 3 City Council seat. And I wanted to share a little bit about why I decided to run for City Council. If you want to learn more about me as a person, there are information cards in the back on the table for those that are here. For those of you at home, you can look up my website at www.ronmendez.com. But the reason I'm running for City Council here in Lynn is because I feel so passionate about the potential that the city has in terms of development, in terms of its resources. We all know the resources that Lynn has. We have the waterfront that has so much promise. We have the beaches, we have the woods, we have our proximity to Boston. We have so many things working in our favor. However, we keep finding ourselves kind of lagging behind the region a little bit. And I think we need in this city new leadership to take us to that next level, to bring us to a higher level so that we can catch up with the rest of the area and just in general do better as a city. I have that experience. I've as you can see from my experience, I've worked in other communities, and I'm so excited to bring that to the City Council. When my wife, who's in the audience here today, and I decided to open our business in Lynn, it's because we saw the promise. We believe in Lynn. We believe in what Lynn has to offer, and I know all of you do too as well. So I look forward, and I hope that you'll be able to vote for me on September 17th and November 5th. And thank you very much, and have a good night.
Hello, everybody. I'd like to thank everybody for coming tonight. I'd like to especially thank Mary Trahan and Tyrone for all their efforts. They do wonderful things for the city. My name is William Trahan Jr. I'm the current Ward 2 councilor. I've been there for 7 terms. I'm 53 years old. I'm married. My wife's here tonight, Lee. We've been married for 23 years. I have 2 children, boy and a girl, 18 and 20 years old. I own and operate a business in the city of Lynn, Trahan Roofing. It's a business that's been in the city for 4 generations, over 100 years. So we're lifelong Lynners. We're not going anywhere. We've been here forever. We love this city. I think that I've done a real great job in Ward 2. I think you've seen a lot of improvements. I've worked on the parks. I've worked on the playgrounds. I've fixed up a lot of the streets. We've done over the Buchanan Bridge area. We've addressed the flooding down Eastern Ave and up around Buchanan Bridge. Like I say, I'm on roughly 15 or 16 committees in the city over the years. I've got involved in all these committees and worked my way up. So I feel as though I have a lot of strength at City Hall and bring a lot to the table for Ward 2, and I think that's why I get a lot done. So at this, my flag's up. But just like to thank everybody again for coming, and thank you, Mary.
Hi, I would also like to thank my friends on the Lynn Community Association board. My name is Jesse Jager, and I'm running to be your Ward 2 City Councilor. About a decade ago, my wife and I moved to Lynn looking for a diverse community with lots of things going on to raise our growing family. We have fallen in love with this city. From the woods and the beaches to the downtown with the great arts and culture scene, we have enjoyed all the opportunities that Lynn has given us. Both my children, Lauren and Mary, who are in the back there, attend Ingalls Elementary School. And I'm an active parent leader there, serving on the PTO as well as on the Parent and School Improvements Councils. I've helped bring in thousands of dollars of grants to Ingalls so that kids can have extracurricular activities there. I joined the Lynn Community Association Board. I'm a past board member to help foster a deeper sense of community by helping plan city cleanups, community forums like this one, and many other community events. I helped found the Martin Luther King Day of Service that has brought hundreds of volunteers to nonprofits across the city for the past 2 years, making service opportunities available for people of all ages in Lynn. And I helped found Lynn Parents Organizing for a Better Education, which has helped work to hold the Lynn Public Schools more accountable to the needs of parents and families, because I understand that the more parents are involved in our schools, the better our schools will be. Now I want to bring that type of creative, forward-looking leadership to Ward 2 and Lynn City Council. I have a master's degree in organizational leadership, and I've made a professional career out of helping nonprofit organizations through periods of change and growth. Lynn is a community that is changing and growing, and I feel like I have the skills and experiences to help bring that brighter future forward. I look forward to a thoughtful debate tonight.
Hi everyone, my name is Deb Plunkett. Thank you for having me here tonight, and thank everybody for being here tonight. I'm a candidate running for Ward 1 City Council. I'm a lifelong Lynner. I attended Lynn schools. I graduated from Marion Court Junior College. I attended Lynn schools. I worked at GE Riverworks for 10 years before starting my family. I've been married for 25 years to my husband David, who's in the audience tonight. We have 2 fabulous grown sons, DJ and John. I've been involved in the community my entire life, working in local elections my entire life. I grew up in West Lynn. I grew up working on my Uncle John's campaign. He was the youngest ward councilor ever elected at the age of 19. I grew up doing all of this and loving it, and I was hooked from day one. Never went to school on election day, thought it was a national holiday. Everybody was in the class, and I was holding signs, waving and beeping, which you'll see a whole lot of in the next weeks to come. I love it. I currently work for Campfire. I'm an anti-bully instructor. I visit schools all around the city of Lynn. Bullying is a huge, huge problem we have, not only in Lynn, but everywhere. Very proud of the work that I do with Campfire. We teach kids some techniques and skills they need, because bullying does not end in the 4th, 5th, or 6th grade. It's a lifelong thing, so these kids gain a lot, and it's a very rewarding job. I'm a member of the North Shore Women in Business. I'm also a very proud member of the Veterans Appreciation Day Parade Committee that we've been working very hard canning outside in Wyoming Square. We've been passing out a lot of literature for the parade that's coming up in September. Working in the schools and the communities and organizations is what I do. It's what I've always done. Timing is everything. I've wanted to serve on the Lynn City Council for a very long time. I'm a 4-year breast cancer survivor. Any cancer survivor will tell you, you don't wake up and say, someday I'll do this or someday I'll do that. You wake up and you appreciate every day you have, and you go for it and you do what you want. I'll be honored to serve as your next Ward 1 City Councilor. I love Lynn, I believe in Lynn, and I will be accessible, accountable, and available, and I can't wait to get started.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Wayne Losey. I'm the current Ward 1 Councilor. I'm a lifelong Lynner. I've attended all Lynn public schools. I graduated from Lynn English High School, attended North Shore Community College, and graduated from there, attended Bentley College, and graduated from Bentley. I currently work at the Mass Department of Environmental Protection, and I've been working there for 23 years. I live on Den Quarry Road with my wife, Kathy, and 2 of our children at home. And I've been a coach in Wyoming Little League for 15 out of the last 20 years. I've coached East Lynn Papuana football. I've coached in Lynn Youth Soccer. I've been a member of this community all my life. I've served on the Conservation Commission in Lynn. I've served on the Lynn Planning Board, and I've been very active in this community all of my life. I'm currently the Ward 1 Councilor, and I'm proud of the achievements and the accomplishments that we've had up to date. And I certainly can't, I can only touch on them, but Gowdy Park, Flax Pond Park, We're going to be looking at a turbine on the Linway that's going to save water and sewer ratepayers significant savings. I want to bring solar panels to Lynn Tech, and renewable energy is the wave of the future, and we all have to embrace it. And I want to continue to be your ward counselor, and I look forward to this debate and talking more about my goals and accomplishments. Thank you for all of you for being here.
Thank you. And please pay attention to the yellow and red flags. And please hold your applause. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I also want to give as I say, shout out to Cheryl here, who sat in for us as timekeeper. So thank you very much. Okay. So I guess now we're going to go on to the questions. Okay. This question is, if you can make just one capital improvement to your ward, what would it be and why? And this is starting from right to left, I believe. So it's going to, we'll start it from you, Wayne.
My capital improvement that I would like to see in Ward 1 is what is currently happening in Ward 1, which will revitalize the business in Ward 1 and will certainly be Ward 1 is the gateway to the city of Lynn. Currently, Wyoming Square has a lot of traffic going through it. We're going to be looking at a $5.5 million bond improvement on Wyoming Square and Broadway. Currently, National Grid is working and replacing all of their gas lines. By next year, we should be complete. Unfortunately, it's going to take time. It's a lot like birthing pains, but once it's complete, there are going to be huge traffic improvements. It's going to help the business community. It's going to be aesthetically much better. So I think that's exciting, and along with some other structural improvements around the city. Magnolia Park is slated for $50,000 in improvements. Looking forward to seeing that done. That will be the fourth park in Ward 1 that will have seen a major improvement. And I'm just happy to be the Ward 1 counselor, and I'm looking forward to accomplishing much more. Thank you.
I actually agree with Wayne. I think economic development is a huge thing coming up for Ward 1. I frequent a lot of Ward 1 businesses. I've met every Ward 1 business so far in the past couple of months, and I've made a personal connection. I'll continue to give them business and encourage others to do so. But the question is capital improvement. I think the top priority that I will take on as the next Ward 1 City Councilor will be constituent services. Our DPW is completely understaffed. Our DPW is completely underfunded. I attended the budget meeting at the council a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago. I would have voted to not approve that budget. And the reason I say that is because we do not have enough funds in the DPW. I will be a strong advocate to get people off the list. There's a list that's going on for years. People are on the list. I met a young guy about 3 weeks ago knocking on doors. He told me he plows his own street because his son has serious medical conditions, and he's terrified that an ambulance won't get to his street. That's unacceptable. He's a taxpayer. He's a homeowner. This dad and his wife have enough stress going on. They need an emergency vehicle getting up to their street. As your next Ward 1 City Councilor, I will give 100% of my time and my effort to fully fund the DPW and get a plan in place for that. Thank you.
We have too many children in Ward 2 attending classrooms that were designed before the Great Depression. If we want a modern workforce and kids educated in modern schools, we need to invest in our schools now. On September 17th, There's going to be a bond vote for replacing Marshall Middle School. I strongly encourage you all to support that bond. It just makes financial sense. Bond rates are at their historic lows. The state is going to pay 80% of the bill, and we're going to get modern classrooms for our students at Marshall. But that's just the beginning. We have many other school needs in terms of improving and upgrading the infrastructure in our educational system. As I said before, too many of our young people are learning in classrooms that are outdated for the modern times. They're unsafe, and we need to improve the school buildings that the children of Ward 2 and the children of all across Lynn attend.
I'm going to agree with my opponent a little bit on the schools. I think that was probably one of the biggest capital improvements that the city needs. I think this new school that's coming is very important. The state is going to give us 80%. The schools are, we've got 30 kids in the class. It's not right. They should be down to 18 and 20 kids so the kids are educated properly. So this vote coming up is very important. Something else in Ward 2, something I've been working on, I think number 2 for capital improvements is the parks and playgrounds, something that I've been passionate about over the years. We've just done the Keeney playground over. We put about $600,000-$700,000 into it. We got $60,000 slated for Cook Street. We just put our first garden that's been in the playground over 70 years in there, so we're starting to get the Cook Street playground back for the kids. And we just did over Henry Ave playground. So the streets need to be repaved. I hear all the constituents when you go door to door and you hear all the things, but those are my priorities, the things that that I think we need to address.
Well, I think it goes without saying, being from Ward 3, that the most important project that is coming up is, of course, the Marshall Middle School. We need to all get behind that project because it's not just a Ward 3 project, it is an entire City of Lynn project. As you know, my wife and I are part-time buyers brokers, we're real estate agents, and we talk to young families with small children that are considering Lynn versus another city. And the number one reason why they choose another city is because of their concerns with the state of our public schools. It's keeping our property values down, it's keeping our tax base low. We need to invest in our public schools. And this vote coming up on September 17th is the linchpin. It is the beginning of either success or another decade of waiting. So we all need to get behind this project, and I hope you can all join me in voting yes on September 17th for the Marshall Middle School. Thank you.
Right. In Ward 4 right now, Sagamore Street is a priority, and the housing authority is doing it. And on Union Street, on the corner of Union Court, if you drive by, you see a parking lot there, and the work's going to be 5 houses coming there shortly. High Rock Park has been done. Harrington School has been done since I've been ward councilor. And the streets, the problem is the state cut Chapter 90 money in half. That's the money the cities get for the streets. But I have 5 or 6 slated in the Highlands to get repaid. I was talking to the DPW commissioner today. He said that hopefully they'll get another portion of Chapter 90 money. We realize that. So I'm doing what I can with what we have. It's all about money. It ain't a damn thing funny, as we know.
Well, the way that I see it now, one of the greatest investments that we can make in terms of capital improvement are to our homes. Our homes are, bring up property values when they're in good repair. They make our streets look nice. And one of the measures that I would like to implement when I become elected is to implement a property tax rebate program to help struggling homeowners with property repairs and to help combat urban blight. So we would give them some type of credit for doing certain types of repairs on their property. Now, we all know that people are still struggling from the economic downturn that we had a few years ago. People have not recovered financially, and so a lot of homeowners are still struggling with property maintenance issues, and And so that's a big concern for me, and because of the field that I work in, I see a lot of things. So I would like to help our homeowners, because I think they are part of the backbone of our city. Thank you.
Because we can only choose one thing, for the benefit of Ward 5, I'm going to support the Marshall School in Ward 3. Because otherwise, we won't have a new Cobbett anytime soon. Investing in schools, number one, and I'll cheat a little bit, human capital, very important, DPW, public safety.
What I'd like to see done in Ward 5 is work with the DPW. We need something done with the trash. I know they're working on it now, but we need a new trash ordinance. Recycling, we need more pickups on recycling. Once a week isn't helping out. We need to work, maybe we could have community neighborhood cleanups once a month or every few months. Maybe the DPW could come down, have one designated place, work with them and have people clean out the yard. And maybe it will help with some of the rodent problems we also have in the city. So that's what I'd like to do, is work with the DPW and the trash problem in the city, in Ward 5. Thank you.
Correct me if I'm wrong, we talk about capital improvement, talk about money, correct? I am.
Capital assets.
Thank you. I have the understand that we live in a society of capitalism, which is a great country. And I believe that our city needs business development. We need to revitalize our business in downtown and in every ward. One of my priority is business development and reduce commercial tax rate. When we reduce commercial tax rate, we open the door for other business to come in and invest in our country, in our city, and stay in our city, so they won't go somewhere else. And the second thing is tax incentive. We can get money from the state, such as the block grants, TIS grant, to help improve the business. And the third thing is business promotion. We have the waterfront, museum, arts, auditoriums that we can promote thank you.
All right, question 2. It says, how will you make valuable information about the area made more available for residents? We do not always see it in the Lynn item, or some may not read the paper on a regular basis.
Communication is the key to success when I learned in college. Information, sometimes we put out on newspaper, it doesn't always get into the hands of the citizen of Lynn. Therefore, miscommunication can cause a lot of problems within our city. If we have to find a way to better communicate to the resident, to everyone, so that we're on the same page and the same boat. When we're on the same page and the same boat, then we are working together as a city. We have to communicate through all kinds of sources, not just the newspaper, media, internet, flyers, billboards, etc., etc. That's the key. And through the word of mouth also. Thank you.
Well, I know certain websites are available. The DPW has one, the little school department has their own websites. Most places, even churches, if there's a school closing, if something is canceled, most places do have their own websites if you're not getting the paper. A lot of people nowadays is Facebook or texting. I don't know how else we can get the information out to people, but there are websites available for every organization there is in the city of Lynn.
Thank you. I took matters into my own hands in 2008 with the first version of LynnHappens.com. I started the Downtown Lynn Neighborhood Association mainly as an email list at first, so that we could all communicate with each other in the neighborhood and share the projects that we were working on, let everybody know when there would be a cleanup, for example, or whether there was an issue or concern that we had to meet about. You have to meet people where they are. What I learned in college is know your audience. And then use the best medium or channel to reach that audience that you have. Now, I've seen improvements in the city website. I've seen improvements even to the item, although now it's not accessible for all. They have to stay in business somehow. But I will continue to do everything that I can do using Facebook, ward5lynn.com. There's also the Pine Hill Civic Association Facebook page that are ward-specific. LynnHappens.com is citywide, and it's politics-free, and I keep it that way to the best of my ability anyway, so that it's a place everybody can go and see what's going on.
Okay, so we're talking about valuable information, and I assume that that means valuable information coming from our local government. So we have, of course, our open meeting laws that require certain information to be disseminated to the residents. When you go on to the City of Lynn's website, there's sort of a mishmash of information, and there's some pertinent information that is not being disseminated. So I would say that we could use some type of part-time compliance officer in the city to make sure that there is compliance with the open meeting law, so that the valuable information that we need in order to be informed and make important decisions is met and disseminated to the residents. Thank you.
Can you repeat that question? No, I'm only kidding. What I do, I just tell Gene Curley and Leslie Greenberg, and all of Ward 4 would be covered. No, actually, we have a reverse 9/11 in the city of Lynn, and everybody got a call, I'm sure, from the city, snow emergencies and stuff like that. That's one thing. Also, I'm old-fashioned. If it's an issue in Ward 4, I just write letters to the street. With repaving, I get them a letter. If there's a problem with drugs, I send a letter. I'm old-fashioned. I like letters. And Gene Curley and Leslie Greenberg.
Thank you. This is actually a very important question for ward councilors specifically, because I know through my experience on the board of directors of the Lynn Area Chamber of Commerce, we would oftentimes find out about ordinances that affected the business community, and we would find out about them the night they were being enacted, rather than being able to speak with city councilors ahead of time. So, we became a little proactive, but it's understandable that most residents are not able to do that. Oftentimes there are variances before the Zoning Board of Appeals or requests for special permits before the city council that people just don't know about, because the only notice that goes out is those little minute legal notices in the newspaper, or you have to come to City Hall to know about the notice. So we have to be proactive, and we have to use a lot of different ways of getting the word out to people. If it affects abutters, we need to go to the abutter's house and make sure they know something's going on that might affect their home. As far as the rest of the neighborhood is concerned, we need to use the internet, we need to use reverse 911, we need to use Facebook, we need to use all different avenues to, as Seth said, meet people where they are at. But this is a very important issue for ward councilors specifically. So thank you for the question.
I just want to touch a little on what they had said earlier. If you go on the website for City Hall, you'll see on Tuesday nights everything that's going on. If there's a Board of Appeals, or if there's a planning board, and what neighborhood it is. I, like Councilor Calucci, I usually will send out letters if there's a neighborhood meeting, if there's a problem in your ward, like on your street. I'll either come down to your house, knock on your door, or you'll get a letter from me saying that something's going on in the ward, if it's a zoning issue, or if it's a neighbor issue, or if it's a drug issue. We've also done the reverse 911, which I think is pretty good. You all get those calls. Like if you're going to get a big snowstorm or something, you see the blue lights now up on the street lights. When they're blinking, you got to get your cars off the street. That was very good, I think. I think that took a lot of cars off the street, helps with the plowing operations. But we have the Lynn Journal now, we have the item. I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of forums like this. Mary and this group, they spend a lot of time sending out letters, and as Councilor Calucci said, just the neighborhood things that we go to Ford School and all different things, people get to know. So.
Communication is one of the most fundamental roles of a ward counselor. And I won't just be out in the neighborhood door knocking and talking to the neighbors in Ward 2 during election year. I'll be out there every week talking to the people in Ward 2, letting them know about the services, helping them access resources from City Hall. I'll be out doing community forums, actually organizing them, making them happen. I'll show up at PTO meetings. Another issue is that a lot of our residents either don't speak English or speak limited English. So we need to figure out ways to communicate with those populations with better interpretation and translation services. And then of course there's lots to be done with technology. I think that over the last couple of years, some aspects of the of our city offices have used social media better, but there's a lot of ways that we could be using communication technologies to let residents know about the services, what's going on in the city, issues around ordinances and things like that that the city council are working on. And I'll be out in the neighborhoods knocking on doors every week to help Ward 2 residents know what's going on.
Thank you. We do not always see in the item. I'm glad you're not seeing the item because Mr. Lozzi seems to be in the front page a lot these days. I'm a big fan of technology, Facebook. With a click of the button, I reach hundreds and hundreds of people. I've been in touch with people I've met in high school. I've been in touch with everybody. I'm all for technology, but with that being said, I'm meeting tons of seniors. They don't have Facebook, they don't own a computer, nor do they want one. Neighborhood meetings, that's a fabulous way to reach out to the community for open communication. I'd like to see precinct meetings. Have a precinct meeting instead of clusters of neighborhoods. That's fabulous, and I wish I could be in every single neighborhood every single week. It's just a large ward. So precinct meetings, maybe monthly, maybe bi-monthly, and have neighbors come to one location. It could be the Knights of Columbus, Knights of Pythias, schools. I'm sure we'll find a spot. Put it out there. I've been putting literature out there now for the past couple of months, reaching people the good old-fashioned way. People in the room talking about issues. It's great to have technology, but I say it all the time as a mom. Kids doing this, it's annoying. Back in the good old days, we talked face to face and had conversations, had arguments. But at the end of the day, we communicated. I'm a huge fan of precincts having meetings, and that's what I would propose as the next Ward 1 City Council.
10 years ago, when I first ran for councilor, I had a website. I was the only candidate at that time, and it was www.votelozzi.com, and that's currently my website. I also am active on Facebook, and I think it's important to use the social media. And as my colleagues mentioned, a few of them, we have reverse 911 to communicate important messages to residents in Lynn. There are many ways we can communicate, and being out in the community is very important. And as a counselor, I regularly have attended for 10 years Sluice Pond Association meetings, Flax Pond Association meetings. As I mentioned earlier, I've been coaching Wyoming Little League, Babe Ruth Baseball, Eastland Pop Warner. I'm in the community, and that's important. We also need to communicate the good old-fashioned way, as you heard earlier. And that's what I like to do as a counselor. If there's an issue, I communicate. I send out a letter to the neighborhood, and we address the issue, and we'll have a neighborhood meeting. I've also used, I've worked on periodicals that I've issued about a half dozen periodicals called Within Ward 1, and I've sent it out to the entire ward. It's a lot of work, and I enjoy doing that, and I want to continue as your Ward 1 counselor communicating. Thank you.
Next question. Many cities have revitalize themselves, bringing in businesses and people from other cities. Many businesses in Lynn leave the city. What suggestions do you have for bringing in businesses to Lynn besides the waterfront and the art district?
Okay. Last Thursday, the governor signed a bill that I sponsored as a home rule petition called an anti-dumping law. Currently on the books, it's a $300 fine for somebody who's caught illegally dumping. Under my bill, anyone caught illegally dumping will now be fined up to $5,000 and 3 times the cost of cleanup. This is important. Lynn needs to be cleaned up. And I want to also touch base on the importance of what I mentioned earlier with the $5.5 million bond for roadway improvements in Lynn. We're not talking about just some grind and repave. This is going to be entirely new roadways, curbing, drainage, utilities. This is important infrastructure that will not just deliver traffic, allow traffic to flow better, but it's going to be aesthetically much improved for the city of Lynn. And this is important, and I'm proud of the fact that I'm able to work with our legislators and that we can get these things done and improve Lynn and see these improvements ongoing. Thank you.
Zoning. Our zoning is completely outdated. That's why our businesses are leaving the city. I sit in at the government affair meetings at the Lynn Chamber of Commerce. I go and I take notes and I listen, which is key. I need to listen. That's what a councilor needs to do. I met a commercial realtor and I said to him, please, can you give me 5 minutes of your time? Do you have any investors interested in the city of Lynn? Where are they and why aren't they here? And he looked me right in the face and he said, yes, I do. I have investors and they're very interested in the city of Lynn. And then they start the process and they deal with the outdated zoning and they get frustrated because it's a big obstacle for us to bring us a business into the city. So what they do, they go to Salem, where for some reason it's a lot easier. As the next Ward 1 City Councilor, I will work with the City Council to make our businesses downtown, make our city business friendly, not scare our investors away, but invite them. And as a city councilor, can reach out and contact them and say, my name is Deb Plunkett, I'm a Ward 1 City Councilor. What can I do for you today to help you bring your business here? I'm here. I'm available, I'm accessible, I'm accountable, and I'm here to help you. Thank you.
So the New Lynn Coalition recently released a report, and in it they talked about how we've gone through a pretty tough economic time over the last 10 years, but Massachusetts has largely come out of it. In fact, there's more jobs in Massachusetts now than there were 10 years ago. But here in Lynn, we actually have nearly 1,400 less jobs than we had 10 years ago. And so creating jobs in Lynn is a critical issue that new leadership needs to take on. A couple of things that I would do to address that. First of all, one of the biggest growth sectors in Massachusetts right now is green economy jobs. So let's work on bringing more of those to Massachusetts. There's a lot of manufacturing space at GE right now not getting used. Let's work with GE to get that manufacturing space back in production, possibly running out to some of these green economy jobs that are out there that are growing in our community. Secondly, let's work with the VOTEC and North Shore Community College and Salem State for more job training to increase skills within our workforce here in Lynn. Thirdly, some of the people that create the most jobs in Lynn right now are our immigrant community. A study out of Malden recently showed that immigrants are highly entrepreneurial and they're creating lots of jobs. We need to make it easier for those people in our community to continue to start jobs, create businesses in our communities to grow Lynn's economy.
I'd just like to start out with, I think over the last couple of years, we've worked through the ISD department. We've totally revamped it. We've brought everybody together in there so that we make pulling permits so much quicker and easier for the builders and contractors coming into the city. So I think that was an important thing. We've just worked on rezoning. we've changed it around quite a bit, so it's a lot more accessible for people to bring in a business in all different areas of the city. We work with them. I also have worked myself with the North Shore Latino Business Association. They have a lot of the Spanish businesses now are coming into the city, so we go down there once a month. We go on, we get down, see with them, work with them, to, explain to them how they have to go through City Hall, what kind of business that they have, how we can help them. So, we're also doing a lot of that now. And I really don't totally agree that many businesses in Lynn are leaving the city. I think a lot of businesses are coming right now. We've got a lot of big businesses down. The Clock Towers just came in, the Kettle Cuisine. We just got an Italian restaurant downtown. We got Demici's Bakery. I mean, things are starting to go the other way. So I'm not totally, happy with them. Not that I'm not happy with the question, but I kind of disagree with it. I think that people are starting to come to the city. You see, I'm getting a lot of calls myself in my own ward about land, and a lot of the homes are getting done over now, the foreclosed homes. People are drawing an interest in land. There's some money to be made here, and there's a lot of empty buildings that people are getting cheap that they can turn their businesses into. So, thank you.
Thank you. This is actually an issue that is something I've worked with a lot in my tenure on the board of directors of the Lynn Area Chamber of Commerce. A commercial real estate broker that I know very well has put it very succinctly. In Lynn, you need to get a special permit to operate a business in a business district for virtually any kind of business that you want to put there. That's not the way other cities operate. We, quite frankly, need to get out of the way. City Hall needs to, in a lot of ways, get out of the way of business being able to do business. Now, we definitely need to have reasonable regulation. We need to make sure that businesses are appropriately sized for the community and that they're able to serve the community. But I think in Lynn City government, we go a little bit overboard. And one of the things that we need to begin doing is looking at the zoning ordinance. It is outdated. It was drafted originally in the 1920s and really hasn't been looked at comprehensively since. There have been significant additions. There have been some, changes here or there, but not a comprehensive look at it to make sure that we have flexible zoning that we can live with in the 21st century. So those are my ideas for how we can bring business to Lynn.
Hi. I agree with Billy Trahan. I think Lynn's coming back, like you just said. There's some businesses opening up downtown Lynn. Probably the waterfront, and you want to talk about this, because it's privately owned by three different people. That's why that's not going to develop right now. But in Union Street, every building is occupied, every storefront is occupied. So I don't think it's bad as the question makes it out to be.
Okay. That was an interesting report that Jesse just mentioned, and I could see if you drive around Lynn and you also have been here for a while, you can see that there's several hundred jobs that have left the city over the past, decade or so. One of my ideas, and one of the things that I would like to work on when I become elected, is to help build or develop a business park in our city. Small businesses are good, but we need a business park to bring higher paying jobs to the city. We also need large anchor stores, because the large anchor stores drives consumers into the city and helps the small businesses thrive, because those consumers will also visit the small businesses. And so if you have a nice shopping plaza with a big anchor store and some small businesses, you'll see that they'll all be doing very well. So those are some of the policies that I would like to see us develop in the future in order to bring not just a few jobs, but hundreds of good paying jobs, which will also give our youth something to look forward to in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. It is a challenging question to answer, because when you leave the downtown out of it, our largest business district, a lot of Lynn is residential, and there are certain types of businesses you would not want on a residential street. We have downtown, Wyoma, Western Ave, Boston Street, our commercial districts, and that's what we should be luring businesses to come to. Now, I'm in favor of tips in certain situations only, for mom and pops, for small stores that are going to take over a long-time vacant storefront and turn it into something beautiful. I think the city needs to reach out to people who are going to open businesses like that so that they can fill our empty storefronts regardless of the neighborhood that they happen to be in. We need to follow through with traffic studies. It's nice to have another study in the works, but you know, if it comes down to it, we need to make some changes. And if you're looking to open a business, when you walk up the steps of City Hall, right there in the lobby, there ought to be a trifold brochure with a checklist of everything that you have to do and all the departments you have to visit.
To work with businesses, to get them back in. And it'd be great if people had suggestions on what type of businesses they're looking for in the area. And like I've said, only certain businesses you can put in neighborhood districts. You don't want certain things there, but something the community has to work on to give somebody an incentive to come back in.
I didn't ask to repeat again the question. One thing I just mentioned earlier, commercial tax rate reduction and tax incentive help promote business in our city, or the key entity to bring in business back into our city and keep our business revitalizing our city. You know, business means jobs. More jobs, more money, more dinero, Spanish, you know. So we got to speed this thing up, you know, rapido, fast in a way, so that we can generate income for the city and for the resident, so that we can grow the city into a city that we inspire by other people outside of our city, so they can come and visit us without being fear. Another thing is public safety. If we can get public safety, if we can make sure our street is safe for people to visit and walk around in our neighborhood, then we bringing business back to our city. And then we bringing people, tourists, visitors, just like Boston. Boston, they keep the streets safe, and now people go to Boston. And we want to do that in Lynn too. I know we can, you know. If we can try, I know we can. We have to work hard at it, you know, together as a city and the people. Thank you.
Next question. How would you work with the city health department, inspectional services, and DPW to encourage people to respect the laws already in place concerning trash disposal and litter? We'll start with you, Jen.
Yes, in our city we have many issues with trash you know, in the street, trash on the sidewalk when people put it out. Rodents is a big issue in downtown and everywhere in the city of Lynn. I'm sick of the road. We should have a war against the rodent, you know? We should have a rodent task force against the Lincoln County task force. You know, we got to do that. We can make it, you know? We need to get business, community, residents together, have meeting with the DPW, with the public health department. Let's talk about this issue. Let's tackle it together. Not just one group tackle it. You know, we need to bring them in and have them brainstorm to help. We have the city inspector, public health just hired a rodent expert. You know, he's willing to go and talk with you, everybody, you know, about rodent issue. Education is the key. You know, we have to educate people to dispose trash properly, you know, change barrel that has a hole in the bottom, you know. Pick up, don't put the bags on the sidewalk. Put it in it doesn't take an energy to put it in the trash barrel, you know. Why leave it on the sidewalk so the rat can come and have a feast? Thank you.
Well, I think we need to work with them, the landlords, the homeowners. A letter needs to be written to everybody in every language there is in the city of Lynn. There is also a language barrier. And just to educate people on exactly what to do with your recycling. Like I said earlier, we need to work with the DPW on the trash pickup, the recycling. This is half the problem. It's stuff is not getting picked up, they won't take certain items, so people are laying them down on the side of their houses. They have no way to dispose of them. I've had people ask, why am I paying taxes if I can't get rid of this? Why do I have to pay for somebody to come pick it up? You have elderly residents who can't afford to do that. So we need to work with people, educate them on what to do with the trash, what to do with their barrels, and hopefully we can try to get it under control.
I agree with everything that has been said so far. And we need a new trash ordinance, desperately. It's been held up, and it held up long enough. We need to take the politics out of it and just get it done. I am in favor of automated trash collection. I think when everybody has the same rat-proof barrels with the lids permanently attached, it will cut down on some of the rodent issue and prevent trash from blowing around in the streets. But speaking of trash blowing around in the streets, we have a problem with some of our trash barrels that are open on the top. When people do the right thing, the wind blows it back out, it swirls around the corner of Union Street in Central Square. Now, I was inspired to do something about this by Juan Gonzalez after he did a huge, huge cleanup last spring in the downtown. And I was talking about the lack of barrels and then the open lids, and Juan said, what are you going to do about it? So I put together a proposal. I spoke to Ward 5 Councilor Brendan Crichton. He put together a meeting. And now you'll notice there are trash barrels back on Market Street. They have images of High Rock Tower on them. They say keep Lynn clean. They have locked lids and the dome covering. Nothing can blow out, and they look beautiful, and you can sponsor a barrel.
I had the opportunity to visit a southern city this summer when I went on vacation, and what really struck me was how clean the streets were. There was no trash. But I saw trash barrels, a lot of trash barrels, and those devices where you put your cigarette butts out. So they were so clean that you wouldn't want to put anything on the ground. You stick your trash in your pocketbook. But I think what needs to happen in Lynn is we do need to have more trash receptacles to be able to dispose of the trash. Particularly when residents or pedestrians are walking on the street. That's a real important issue. Because it is very unsightly to see trash all over Lynn. The other issue is that I think it's important to have some type of educational outreach. So I think that if we make up some type of pamphlets that we can distribute, or some type of educational outreach that we can put on the Lynn website, on the city's website, and also train the inspectors that, to talk to residents, make sure that they don't overfill their trash barrels, which creates a food source for the rodents, and just to help give people a little bit of a nudge. We need to work on keeping our streets clean. Thank you.
Everybody here wants cleaner streets, I'm sure. But I think the problem is, candid. Some people, they just don't do what's right. It's a moral, ethical issue. They throw the trash. If you send them a letter, they know what the law. Everybody knows you don't litter. Remember the ads on TV? Litter bag, shame on you. Remember that? Everybody knows you shouldn't litter, but people do it because they just don't care, and that's hard to fight.
Thank you. It's actually an interesting issue because in 2011, which by my count is 2 years ago, the city council tried to address this issue. The incumbent city council tried to address this issue by trying to pass a revised trash ordinance. And unfortunately, that effort failed. It didn't work out. They did not pass a new trash ordinance, but did recognize that our current trash ordinance isn't working. It doesn't work for us. It has inconsistencies. There are parts of it that are unenforceable. So after another year went by, in 2012, last year, I actually decided to be a little proactive, and I put pen to paper, and I wrote up a new trash ordinance. I sat down with businesses, I sat down with residents. You know, we put together a solid proposal. The Mayor Kennedy actually liked the proposal. So I sat down further with Mayor Kennedy and with the acting commissioner of Public Works at the time, Mr. Alcantara, as well as the ISD director, and we came up with a solid proposal that we proposed to the city council August of last year. And nothing has been done with that proposal. So the first thing we need to do if we want to ask residents to follow the trash law is we need to have a trash law that works. So I hope that the city council can move on that, and then we can move forward with also a new trash contract that will bring automated trash collection to the city to also stem the rat problem. Thank you.
The number one key, and I said this at the last debate, is education. You have to educate people. We did this in my own ward 2 years ago. We went down, we took the Fayette Street, Chatham Street area, Essex Street. We went door to door. We had people of all nationalities go with us that volunteered. We knocked on the people's doors. We explained, we brought them outside. We showed them how they have to put their rubbish away. We cleaned it up for them on a couple of times. We took 30, 40 dumpsters out of this neighborhood. Educated them. We had the health department with us. The people that didn't work with us, we fined them. And now, after 2 years, it's gotten a lot better down there. So the whole key to all of this is education. You can talk about trash ordinances. You can talk about fining people. But the people that don't understand, they can't even read the fine. They're not going to pay the fine. It's all about education. And the automated system that the mayor is working on currently now, you're going to see a great improvement. We've gone through a lot of cities and towns that have it, like Medford, and there was a couple others locally, and it's a great big improvement for the rats and because everybody has the same barrels. They're heavy, they don't blow over, they have covers on them, the rats can't get in them. So you're going to see a great improvement when this trash contract starts in the spring. You're going to see the rats. In fact, they've already gotten a lot better. We've really been proactive. We worked with the mayor. We tried to get her to put more money in the budget, which is very important for all the traps when people call us. A lot of times I have to go out on my own. We buy them at Home Depot. We put them in neighbors' yards because there's just not enough to go around. There's not enough money. But you're going to see a big difference with the automated trash.
I agree with Ron and Seth. I think it's a shame that we haven't gotten a new trash ordinance passed yet. I think that's a real something that needs to get done and something I'll fight for as a city councilor. And I agree with Mr. Trahan. I think that education is also really important. What I'd like to see actually is one of the issues we have in this city is needs for more youth jobs. So why don't we hire teams of youth to go into our schools, do some education with our young people around littering? Because I actually don't think that I think that more education is always good to get people to understand the impact of littering, get those young people out doing cleanup jobs regularly in our parks, and be supplying teen jobs for young people to be doing the right thing in our community and making the right choices. Groups like Centerboard, the Food Project, LISOA, all those types of groups we could bring into a partnership and be really active out there and helping keep our streets clean. Around the rat issue, it's the single biggest issue that gets talked about when I'm at the doors. And it flabbergasts me that we do so little about it here in the little city of Lynn. I would want, one of the first things I would do is go look at other communities, how they've successfully addressed their rat problems, and then bring those ideas back to the city of Lynn so that we can really tackle this issue full on. We need a targeted approach that will address the issue of rats in the city.
We're pretty lucky in Ward 1 as far as trash in the streets and all. Up in Ward 1 that we don't have that. I don't see much of that. What I do see, I joined the Flax and Sluice Pond Association, and we have some trash issues down at the parks. I volunteer. They have a Flax Pond cleanup day on Sunday mornings. I go down there, I've met the neighbors, and we work collaboratively, and we clean the park together. The geese, that's another whole issue in Ward 1, specifically Flax Pond. It's unsanitary down there. I'm glad to help out and clean, but the geese, more needs to be done. I'm currently in talks with local universities, with their biology and their environmental departments to talk about what we can do as another step to deal with the geese that we have down there. It's not safe, it's not clean. Little ones can't go down there. If a little toddler's down there and touches that ground, I'm a mother of two, my boys would not be down there, so we need to clean that up, and I'm in talks right now to move forward with that. I also specifically talked to a lot of neighbors down at Magnolia Park, and I'm very, very glad I did. These people are wonderful down there at Magnolia, and they're pretty upset, and rightfully so. There are a lot of events and organizations that use Magnolia Park on Sundays, and they have every right to do so. But people on Magnolia Park have trash all over their lawns, and it's wrong. And what I would propose as the next Ward 1 City Councilor, have a DPW detail after these events held by these organizations, paid for by these organizations, have a prerequisite upon receiving a permit before using Magnolia Park for such events. Our neighbors at Magnolia Park should not be spending their weekends picking up trash. Thank you.
10 years ago, when I took office as councilor, there were not any modern ordinances that addressed how to properly dispose of trash. As Jake eloquently described earlier, what happens when it's not properly disposed. Approximately 6 years ago, the City Council reorganized many offices in City Hall, and we created an inspectional services department that has been effective, that we passed ordinances with teeth, where people will be fined if they don't properly dispose of their trash. That goes hand in hand with the education. There has to be some teeth to it, and there has been. Ward 1 participated in a pilot program approximately 4 years ago where several streets received large recyclable bins on wheels. If one would go out and purchase one, it would cost approximately $100. Recycling went way up in the city of Lynn. Our disposal costs went down. This is what we need to do. We need to do more recycling, and we need to pass ordinances, work with our legislatures, and continue to be proactive in what we're doing. And I'd also would ask Mary or Tyrone if I could just have a little more time to respond, not rebut, a comment my opponent mentioned earlier.
Yes, sir.
Okay, it was just regarding the Lynn item.
45 seconds.
Thank you. Regarding the Lynn item, the reason why I'm on the front page a lot is because I'm active, and I'm happy to say that 100% of the time it's for a positive reason. And as your ward councilor, and if I continue to be your ward councilor, I hope I'm on the front page a lot more. And thank you. Thank you for the extra time as well.
Can I rebut or no? I'd love to. 30 seconds? Is that the rule, 30 seconds?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you.
In regards to the item this afternoon, I would like to put a shout out to Mr. Robert Tina for the turbine project, because he's doing a fabulous job down there, and it's going to save a lot of money. And I just commend him for his efforts. Everybody down there at the Water and Sewer Department are doing a great job. I believe Mr. Lozzi is the commissioner of the Water and Sewer Department, and I read in the article that had the job gone out to union jobs, they may have done a better job. And I think as the commissioner, maybe that should be something that should have done before the job was put out. As the next Ward 1 City Councilor, I will see to it that unions get those jobs, or at least have a fair playing field to do so. Thank you.
I didn't see the connection there, so,
Mary, she directly, I'd like to rebut that. First of all,
30 seconds only, and then we're
okay,
done
I'm the
with this.
commissioner, I'm the appointment for the city council, that's correct. There is a wind turbine that's going to be going up, and that's right, Bob Tiner is the guy in charge, and as a commissioner, we took the vote to make that happen. Not Bob Tiner, but Bob Tiner has been instrumental. Second of all, we're governed by state law. We have to give out to the low bidder as long as they're qualified. This firm was qualified, and they were given the award, and it's going to be complete, satisfactory, at no cost.
Next question. In general, do you believe that residents are proud to be from Lynn? And what would you do as a ward councilor to increase pride in the city? That would be Wayne.
Thank you, Tyrone. I'm certainly proud to be from Lynn, a lifelong member of Lynn. I believe in being active and participating in the community and raising my children and my grandchildren in this community and attending the schools, doing whatever I can to help this community. I'm going to continue to be active like the Canada geese. I work for the environmental protection. I'm the liaison between Mass DEP and Fish and Wildlife. I'm the only councilor that's taken any steps to treat the problem. I addle Canada geese eggs every year. I've addled over 700, and these parks have 700 less geese on them. Our golf course have less geese on them. It's going to continue to improve. As long as I'm your counselor, I want to continue to solve these problems. Thank you.
I think residents are very proud to live in Lynn. I know people that personally won't go out of town and say they're from Lynn. I don't get it. I'm very proud to be in Lynn, and I take personal offense when people start insulting. And Lynn, the city of sin, that's the worst thing that just gets me every time. And you can sit back and complain and do nothing about it, or you can stand up and say, you know what? I'm from Lynn, my family's from Lynn, my kids are in Lynn, and I'm proud of my city. I will stand up, I will do everything I possibly can as the next Ward 1 City Councilor, not only to make Ward 1 proud to be in Lynn, but we should all feel proud to be in Lynn. Regarding the geese, the addling, I believe, is a Band-Aid on a very, very large wound. I was at Flax Pond this afternoon at 2:15. There had to have been 50 geese, and again, completely unsanitary. I'm in talks with local universities. We're going to reach out and maybe take it a step further. And addling, like I said, there are tons of geese down there. I'm not sure if you're addling geese or swans. I don't know. It doesn't matter to me because we're going to look at other alternatives to clean that pack up so our little kid can go down to the park and have a good day at a beautiful, beautiful location here in Ward 1. We can do better. Thank you.
You know, as I said in my opening, 10 years ago, my wife and I moved to Lynn, and from the moment I stepped foot in the city, I fell in love with it. I can just remember my wife and I walking up kind of into town from the beach, and we were kind of having a conversation about, is this the place we want to raise our children? And just the vibrancy and the diversity and all the amazing things that were going on, it was just incredible. And we're here to stay. We're raising our family here. Both my kids are involved very involved in their schools, and we've got I think a terrific educational system that is totally, I think, underrated. We do some really great things in our schools, and I just want to see the city become better. I think that we're on this verge of real opportunity for change and moving the city forward. We just need new leadership, forward-thinking ideas that are going to help the city make that next step. And that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to be out there talking great things about the city. I already do. A friend of mine was looking at serving a church in the Lynn area, and I talked her up for hours telling her about all the great things that are happening here in Lynn. And she moved just this couple weeks ago right here in Lynn, and has already started a Facebook page called Lynn, City of Lynn, and that's what we are.
Like I say, I spoke earlier, I've been in Lynn for, my whole family for over 100 years. We love Lynn. On a daily basis, I think I try to bring pride to the city with my achievements as a city councilor. We do over the parks, the playgrounds. I'm very active in the schools throughout my ward. I think that I just like to say, people have they start this stigma of Lynn, City of Sin, but if you take a couple of those people and you bring them to the city and you show them the wonderful ocean front, you go up to Gannon Golf Course, anywhere, all these beautiful ballparks, and you take them around. It's just, people need to talk more about Lynn. The residents of Lynn need to talk about Lynn. We need to tell people what a great place it is. This thing we got coming now with the new school, that's a great sense of pride. That's why we all need to vote for that in September, this new school. It's the reason, I said this before, education is the reason why young people leave the city, and it's the reason why young people come to the city. So schools are a big pride to the city. I think we need to vote for that, and I think the people are happy that are from Lynn. They are proud of the city, and just like to keep that going.
I love living in Lynn. I think it's a great city. You know, like I said before, my wife and I located our business here. We invested in the city. We're stakeholders. We're not going anywhere. And it's really such a great, when people from out of town come and talk to me about Lynn, and they might be a little skeptical occasionally, they are, I talk to them I ask them if they've ever gone to the Blue Ox, if they've heard of it. And anybody that has gone to it from out of town raves about it. And it's not just the Blue Ox, but we also talk about the movies down on the beach that the Friends put on, the Friends of Lynn and Nahant Beach. We've got the Goldfish Pond Association that does, the neighborhood association, the work that it does with the activity that's coming up on September 7th, and at the Gannon Golf Course that Bill mentioned. There are so many assets that Lynn has that we should be proud of. I certainly am proud of. I tout them every time an out-of-town business person comes to talk to me at the chamber and wants to know more about the city. So we have a lot to be proud of. People are willing to listen. If you just dig through the sort of skepticism, they're willing to listen, and we can change minds of people that are out there. Thank you.
I like Lynn. I lived in, my grandparents migrated to Lynn, I forget, 1910 or something, and we're still here. I love Lynn. I'm proud of Lynn. And I gotta, with these guys, I can't say it any better than these two gentlemen to my right. But I'll tell you one thing. When I was in junior high school, I'm from Lynn, and no one could be prouder. If we don't believe it, I'll yell a little louder.
Well, it's interesting because I've had the opportunity to work with a lot of residents in the city, and I see a lot of committed and dedicated people, like the Highlands Coalition in my ward, that they're working on fixing up the parks and getting the children involved to take pride in their city and their neighborhood. So we have a lot of residents, a lot of people that are proud and that are taking pride in where they live. And that was something that was always drilled into my head by my father when I was a kid. My mother, take pride in where you live. Even if you're poor, you can still keep your place clean and nice. And so I think that if we just continue on a positive path with some of the things that the residents are involved in, and that we get the support and the response from our local government, I think that we'll be able to enhance that pride in our city. Thank you.
At first, I chose Lynn for the obvious reasons. The ocean, the woods, the great buildings downtown, and the great location and proximity to where I work in Chelsea. But I soon learned that the city's greatest asset, and the thing that I'm the most proud of, are its people. It's the people of Lynn that made me want to get involved, not the buildings, not the woods, not the ocean. And I lived a good chunk of my life in northern New Jersey, so I'm used to having to defend where I'm from. So I'm comfortable here, and since coming to New England, Lynn is the first place where I've felt at home. And I've been marketing this city since I moved here, to my friends, to my family, any kind of online discussion, in articles in the Boston Globe, on Emily Rooney's show on WGBH, on Chronicle. I don't know how many of you saw the Lynn episode. I've been talking up the city every opportunity that I get, and I will continue to do so.
I think Lynn is a great city. I love Lynn. Where else can you go? You can go to the beach, you can go to Red Rock, watch the concerts on a Thursday night. From there you can go walk Lynn Woods, go back downtown, get something to eat. You have sports complexes that are beautiful. People come to this city, my kids play sports. They would come from all over, and they were just amazed at what we have here. We have the Babe Ruth Field, we have Frazier Field, we have Manning Field. We have a beautiful city here, complexes, stuff for the kids. You can't get any better. Go to some other cities, kids are playing soccer on duck, literally next to ducks. This place is amazing. What we have here, I open my shade in the morning, I see a deer. Sometimes a coyote, but for the most part, usually a deer. I do see rats, but this place is great. You can't get any better than the city of Lynn. It's great.
I'm proud to be a Lynn resident. I love Lynn very much. I want to tell you a story about me. When I bought my first house in Lynn, it was 2008. It was an abandoned, neglected, old Victorian house built in 1890, and it really needs a lot of TLC, tender loving care. So it was really, when I bought the house, the pipe was broken, everything was destroyed, it was left for a year and a half, was winterized, and I invited my family to see the house, and they immediately went in and went out. Because the house, they couldn't smell the smell, the mold, the musty smell, and the dead cat in the basement. So I went through a lot building the house, remodel the house. It took me a year and a half. I determined to make that house into a house that I raised my family very happily living right now. And I inspire a lot of people. And some people, they came, friends of mine came and visit me, they do the same thing. They buy this old house and they fix it up. And that's how we built Lynn. And I encourage everybody to buy this old house and build it up. And that's how we built the city of Lynn.
All right, next question. And we're going to start with you, Jake. Will you strongly advocate for the rail trail link?
I believe Saugus has a trail already. Why not we have it? It's gonna create more visitors to our city. That's promoting our city. There we go. Bike trail to the beach. There's nothing wrong with that, and will help Lynn residents in shape. I wouldn't want to gain weight. I need to ride some bicycle and exercise. And a way of relaxation. Hobby. A lot of people ride on the street. It's too dangerous. We need a bike trail or running trail, walking trail. So we need a skate or something like that. We'll bring the community together and we'll make everybody fit and healthy. Thank you.
I do support having a bike trail in the city of Lynn. It'd just be another feature to have here in Lynn. You have the woods that you can go running, a bike trail, you can travel through the city if you want, or the woods. It's something the city has to look into and where exactly the group would be for it. If it is good for the neighborhoods, for the people of the city of Lynn, I think it would be great for everyone.
Yes, I'm absolutely in favor of the rail trail. And I understand that the mayor found something in the T's contract that was objectionable. So why didn't we sit down with the T, or whichever parties we needed to sit down with and renegotiate, work through the problem, because Everett did it, Saugus did it, why not Lynn? I think that we should be a leader, not a follower. We should have done it first.
Yes, I am in favor of the bike trail. I haven't put a lot of research into it, but obviously I'm for anything that promotes the well-being of our residents and fresh air and exercise and the bringing up your spirit and things of that nature. So I would be in favor of it, and I hope that it's something that we'll be able to implement really soon. Thank you.
Right, I guess the gentleman came to the city council a number of times. I was in favor of it then. I'm in favor of it now.
This issue goes back to something I touched on earlier, which is You know, how we kind of find it, Lynn, a few steps behind the region. We have, you know, this trail, this bike trail that goes, as Seth mentioned, from Everett, Saugus, and then it just stops dead at the Lynn line. And it's because we don't work with our neighbors very well. That's something that we as a city need to do better in general, and this is definitely an example of that. This, you know, the bike trail will do nothing but improve. It'll add to the amenities that we have. We could say we have Annan, the beach, the waterfront, and a new bike trail. So it's just a win-win for everybody, and I hope we move forward with it.
I've always been, since they've come down, as Councilor Clucci said, since they got involved and they came down to City Hall and talked to us about it, I've always been in support of it. I think it's a positive thing. Anything that's positive for the city, I'm certainly for. The only thing that I would say is it's going to encompass a lot of neighborhoods, so I would like to see a lot of neighborhood meetings that the trail goes through to make sure that the people that live in those neighborhoods aren't disturbed and that they're in favor of it. But other than that, I would certainly be 100% in favor.
I am too 100% in favor of a rail trail. I think it would be a great boon to the Lynn economy. It would attract more tourism and out-of-city visitors to the city as they make their way to the beach. The thing that I would add to what other folks are saying to this, though, is that I think we should need to make sure it connects into what we're doing with the waterfront, and that whatever we're doing with waterfront development, we make sure that there's really good public access there, so that we have like a place, a boardwalk along the waterfront that extends from where it needs to get developed now all the way to the Nahant Beach and then up to Red Rock Park and into Swampscott. That is an area that should be all linked together into one a recreational area. So that development that happens there, we need to be strategic and make sure it's for the whole city of Lynn, the whole North Shore, and not just for the developers who are putting whatever they're putting in there.
Thank you. I'm also in agreement. Anything that brings people, that brings that brings activity to the city, I'm all for. And as far as boardwalk, I just got back from Ohio visiting my son in college, and it's a bike trail and a boardwalk adjacent to it. And they have those bikes that you can rent, and I think it was $20 for 45 minutes. Why not bring something like that to the city? Another way to bring some tax dollars into the city. So I think it'd be fabulous.
When Steve Winslow and the group came before the subcommittee for the city council, I was in favor of this. As Seth touched on earlier, the mayor was opposed to this, and she had several reasons. And she really hasn't allowed this to move forward, to be explored further. Many of her objections were costs, money costs. Well, I got in touch with Iron Horse, and that's a group that will, first of all, let me back up. The bike trail is an abandoned railroad. Much of that bike path, it would be required to remove those ties, pave that entire bike path in order to have a stable and separate bike path for bikers. So that's what it's really all about. And the MBTA owns much of that property or has the right of way. So we do need to explore these options. Iron Horse will remove the rails free of charge. They'll do that bike path at no cost to the city, and we need to move forward on that. Thank you.
Okay. Last question. We're pressed for time. So thanks for not applauding. So we're gonna end with the closing statements. You have 1.5 minutes to close, and I'm gonna start with Jake.
Closing statement. On September 17 and November 5th, I am respectfully asking everyone in Ward 5 to consider voting for me in order for our ward to have a strong, effective voice that is needed in our local government. I pledge to everyone in Ward 5 the following: to shape up our local government, to identify priorities, to work with elected officials and Ward 5 residents to address public issues. Be a strong advocate and represent everyone fairly. And finally, to be able to collect, share, and analyze information and use them for the betterment of Ward 5 residents and the City of Lynn. So thank you once again to everyone for your support, and I'm looking forward to be your next Ward 5 councilor. Thank you.
I just want to say again, my name is Jane Chakoudas. I'm running for Ward 5. I hope you would consider me come September 17th in the primary. We need everybody out in the primary, especially because there's 3 of us running for Ward 5. Like I said, I'm a lifelong Lynn resident. I've always lived in Ward 5. I'm here for Ward 5. I hope people will consider me. I'd love to vote. I'm here for the city and for the residents of Ward 5. I don't have a big speech in closing. Basically, you can contact me. I have information back there. My number is on there. I have an email address. Contact me with your problems. I'm going door to door to find out what the constituent problems are for the city of Lynn. And I'm listening. And I've made a few phone calls and I'm trying to help people out. So I just hope you consider me a Ward 5 councilor. Thank you.
Thank you. Once again, I'm Seth Albaum, and I'm running for the entirety of Ward 5, from the ocean up through Pine Hill and everything in between. I have some experience in constituent services through the Downtown Lynn Neighborhood Association, and I'd like to take that ward-wide. As some of you may have read in the past or actually attended this, in 2008 I organized the first Neighbor Fest, in which City Hall was invited to meet with the downtown neighborhood in an informal setting while raising money for the nonprofit Girls Incorporated. And we've held one every year since to benefit a different nonprofit and to bridge the gap between residents and City Hall. And I would like to take that and expand it throughout the ward. I joined the Pine Hill Civic Association, and I'll be there for the pet parade on the 25th, the pet parade and flea market up at Gallagher Park. I'm looking forward to it. And then back downtown again. Remember the Meet Me Downtown Festival of the Arts? Well, when that went away, we started a new festival, and back in June we held the second one called Open DTL, promoting businesses really with live concert, artist tables, and a map of eateries, so that you will go to local restaurants and, all right, skipping ahead. We have some serious challenges ahead. We need new schools, playgrounds in the parts of the ward that don't have any. We need to get that trash ordinance hammered out and the rat situation under control. We need to increase our tax base and provide jobs without overburdening our roads and residential areas.
I wanted to thank everyone for coming out this evening, and also LCA and the moderators for doing a fantastic job. One of the things that I love about my city is the diversity of peoples, the community activities, the richness of history that it holds, and also the profound faith and hope its people have towards its future, the contributions, the commitments that we have all made in striving for our ideals. We need the same commitment from our city leaders. We need visionary leaders on our council who can understand, formulate, and implement sound economic policies for our city. We need visionary leaders on our council who will promote and aid in bringing better services to our people and on improving the quality of life for all of our residents in the city. We need visionary leaders on our council who will be committed to bringing greater transparency and accountability to the people of Lynn. We need visionary leaders on our council who will work with the mayor to make decisions in the best interest of the people, always holding that principle and ideal in the forefront of their hearts and minds. And finally, as a diverse city, we need adequate representation for all of our residents on the council. I believe that we are at a very important crossroads at this time in our elections, and that this election season will be a defining moment in our city's history and our city's future. So I hope you will consider voting for me this election season. To find out more about me, please go to www.electariana.com. Thank you.
Hi, I'm not going to speak at 1.5 minutes. I'm just going to tell you what I've done. For the youth of the city, I'm contributing High Rock Park, pony rides for the children. I love the city of Lynn. I love the residents of the city. I want the people here that are in Ward 4 asking for your support. I won't let you down. Also, the people on TV land, I need your support. I won't let you down. Thank you.
I just first want to say in closing that I love living in the city of Lynn. It's just such a great community. I've loved it ever since we moved here, and it's just been a great thing for me. I want to give back to the community that has given me so much. I believe that the most important job of a ward councilor is to be an advocate for the people that live in that ward. I think it's important that a ward councilor communicates with the residents and is proactive and goes out and makes sure that if there is an issue that is important to residents, that the ward councilor sticks up for the residents. I think that has got to be the most paramount responsibility of a ward councilor. I pledge to do that, and if you live in Ward 3, I ask for your support and I ask for your vote on September 17th and on November 5th. And for the people here, I have some cards in the back. You can grab one. It tells you a little bit more about me. And for those of you at home and on lynnhappens.com, you can find out more about me at www.ronmendez.com. Thank you and have a great evening.
Just to thank everybody tonight for coming. I'd like to thank the Lynn Community Association for inviting us down. I think this has been great for everybody to hear all of us. Again, I'm William Trahant. I've been the Ward 2 Councilor for 14 years in Ward 2. I think that I've done a pretty fairly good job in Ward 2. I think there's been some major improvements. It's a job that I'm passionate about, that I work hard at every single day. Whether it's if your house is flooded, or if you're in a snowstorm, or if you're in a bind, I'm going to be at your house and I'm going to help you out. And I have a history of doing that, and I'm going to continue to do that. And not only in my own ward, but I do it throughout the city. If someone needs help, we're always there for you. And I'd just like to again say thank you, and please consider me on September 17th. Thank you.
First, I'd like to just thank my friends at the Lynn Community Association. I helped organize these in the past, over setup, help pass the mics and stuff. And you know what? It's really a lot of work to put these things on, and they did 4 of them this year. So really a huge thank you to you guys for really keeping the community informed, and a really big thank you to Mary. People need to know, Mary's a force of nature in the city. She does incredible work for the city, and everybody should be thanking her after this for the hard work she does for the city. I would also thank my field operation team for my campaign, aka my kids and my wife, but I think they went home to go to bed. But anyways, I believe Lynn has such a bright future, and that is why I'm running to be your Ward 2 City Councilor. With fresh, creative, and forward-thinking leadership, I believe that brighter future is possible. And I'll also make this commitment to my fellow Ward 2 residents. If you call me, I will absolutely call you back. I can't promise to fix all problems, but I will. If there's a creative solution, I will work with you to make that solution possible. So if you want new, creative leadership in Lynn and responsive constituent services in Ward 2, I ask for your vote this fall. You can find more information about me at jessiejager.com, or I'll be seeing you at the doors in the coming weeks. And also, I'd just like to invite you to come out to Fran's Place September 13th for a campaign rally and fundraiser. Hope to see you soon.
Thank you all for having me here tonight. Thank you to everybody in the audience. Thank you everybody at home for watching. I love Lynn. I love Ward 1. Representing Ward 1 as the next Ward 1 City Council would be my honor, and it's a responsibility that I will not take lightly. My priorities will be improving constituent services, economic development, and keeping our parks clean and safe. I am accessible, accountable, and I am available, and I will be a full-time counselor for you. My name is Debbie Plunkett, and I ask for your vote on Election Day. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Wayne Losey. I'm the current Ward 1 Councilor, and I'm proud of my accomplishments And I also am excited about the goals that I have in mind for Ward 1. I touched on them earlier regarding a $5.5 million state bond for roadway improvement, Wyoma Square improvement. It's going to improve traffic coming in from Parkland Ave. There'll be 2 lanes. There's going to be a whole list of improvements. I've held neighborhood meetings for people that we've gone over that. I love to come up with innovative ideas. Gowdy Park, not covered under any federal or state grant money. I had that all done over, new tennis courts, basketball court, street hockey court, no cost to the taxpayer. That was a collaborative effort with a private developer. I'm proud of that. I'm going to continue to advocate for the parks. My anti-dumping legislation, a little bit more on that, and I wish you'd all go to my website and learn more about that. That's going to be up to $5,000 rather than $300, and that money will go into a fund that will go around and clean up the parks and dump in the areas in the city of Lynn. There's just an awful lot that I would like to do, and I would like your vote to be re-elected as your Ward 1 councilor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, audience, for coming out and participating in this great event, and good luck to all your candidates who are running this time around. So Mary's going to have some closing statements for you. Thanks again, and thanks for letting me moderate this wonderful event.
Thank you so very much, and we appreciate your participating in all of our forums that we've had this summer. This is, as someone said earlier, is our 4th one and last one. And I just wanted to make sure that you understand, in your book there is a calendar of other events that we have, and to remind you to be sure and vote on September 17th and on November 5th, 2nd, something. It's in your book. That's why we gave you the book, because my mind doesn't work. And I'm not going to call all of you in wards 1 through 7. But we also have a Trails and Sales event that's coming up Sunday, September 29th. And it's going to be a lot of fun because we're going to have the Grand Army of the Republic Museum open for one of the first times it's available and free for everyone to go to. And we'll have tour leaders there, and also someone at Goldfish Pond. We have another event there, and those are both going to be Sunday, September the 29th. And everything's free, and so we hope you will come out and join us for those. And stay in touch with us at www.lyncommunity.org. We love to have you involved in all of our activities throughout the year. Thank you, and have a wonderful evening.